So who are we going to take for this next fight, which we also kind of want to do a little bit physical. Knowing that first enemy is also filled with armor, I think we also want to have a zombie. They do multiple attacks, so we probably want a banshee. We want a vampire, weirdly enough, because we want to be able to remove the debuff on the Mad Mage. His ward and block that he can add is super annoying. And then Disposable Head does a lot of damage and removes armor and protection. If we're going to be using the vampire, we do want to have a disposable head. Disposable head, vampire, banshee, zombie. They should be good enough, right? That should be good enough. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And everything else here is set. So let's just go into it immediately. Just squad, let's go. Now we go first. So we want to ideally knock out all of the armor on this elite guard at the front and then kill him as quickly as possible. And that the demolition expert is going to move forward and explode. We can, at that point, use cannonball in all likelihood to knock him back. We could also scream and move him back with the banshee. We have a couple of options there. But I think the first thing we want to do is start thinking about buffs and debuffs. Namely, you need to make sure that he loses all of his armor. You're asleep for one turn, lovely. You are going to wait. You are going to remove the block and ward on the Doomsayer because he is very annoying because he adds block and ward, so we want to remove that as quickly as possible. Shade is never going to get used. Stress is so inconsistent that I just don't see the point. And you did basically no damage. Now the zombie is going to more powder. Actually, the zombie's gonna wait. You did no damage. The banshee is gonna reduce their attack. Then the zombie is gonna burn, which will now apply. And you don't get an attack. You didn't do your ability. Ah, damn it. The armor is still up on the elite guard. No, wait, the elite guard has no armor. Wait, what? Acid gland. Oh my god, it worked. Removed all of the armor and resistance on a single unit. Wow, okay. I mean, we don't even need the headhunter. Milk Jug, you're such a good unit. You are. So you're just gonna go in Bloodthirst mode immediately, and you're just gonna start kicking the crap out of this guy, I think. Let's go for you first. You have block up. That was silly. But we're still gonna go for you first. We should have done the AoE with the zombie first. Oh well. Every hit's a crit. You crit for 0. And this guy's moving up. But we are going to cannonball him in the future. Don't worry about it. I don't want to ignite him though, but I don't think igniting actually does anything. But let's just focus this guy down with a gunshot. Offensive stance. Whenever a minion moves, attack it for 150% damage. You know what I'm just realizing? The Bride is good here with Overwatch, because this guy moves, this guy moves, this guy moves when he goes into stance, so an Overwatch would actually be pretty effective here, wouldn't it? You know, that does seem about right, doesn't it? You! Smack him. Line up, so he reached the front, so now he lit up. But you know what? Oh! He's asleep! I need his ability to push him back. The cannonball! Wait! Till they attack or take damage. Dude, someone hit him. I wish I could have one of my units just, like, poke this guy. Send him a Facebook poke, please. Until they're attack or take damage. So I think we're going to have to use Tornado to move this guy because they made my zombie go to sleep. No. You know what? Wait. Scream will do it. Scream will do it. What we're going to do is we're going to wait so we can make sure we go at the very end turn. You buffed him! Feature, +1 attack. Feature, +1 attack. Feature, +1 attack. I don't know what's doing this, but it's so good because it just means that the skeleton just crushes. But I don't know what's causing that. It's you! All allies gain +1 attack until the battle ends. Each time the Adaman receives damage, the effect doesn't dispel. A permanent buff, so it's a permanent buff they cannot get rid of. So against the Adaman, we want to send skeletons. Oh, we figured it out! We've moused over the correct item. This is what's doing it. So against these guys, we want to have a skeleton and they'll crush. Understood. And then we pepper these guys first, and then the skeleton just wipes the floor with everyone else. I'm so happy I figured it out. I think. By the way, kill him.
This never gets old.
By the way, ha ha ha, this never gets old. And we are going to shuffle you. The vampire is going to get hit for 56 to 80 damage. Unless we shuffle you. No. It's not guaranteed to work. Moves him to a random position. Ooh, God. Target minion loses luck and gains attack and dread. I don't want him to one-shot my vampire, but it could happen. It could happen because I can't move him back 1. Because he moved back 1 instead of 2. I guess it's a random position. And I don't have more than 1 action. So I don't think this is going to work because it says deals physical damage, moves the target to a random position, but will it move? Let's see. It does. Oh, wait. Blocking ward has been removed. Never mind. We're actually the best players of Iratus ever. We're the best. We know what we're doing. We're awesome.
Dust.
Now, unfortunately, they healed, but... Alright, so now you have +3 attack. All minions gain dread for their next action. That doesn't matter. Just wait. Smack him. The hook I didn't want to use because the hook could have pulled the guy forward. It targets a random enemy and pulls him forward. If it targeted the guy who was going to explode, then he would explode it into 2 of my units. But shuffling the Doomsayer in the back using a spell meant that the guy was going to explode onto his units only. There was a reason for it. There was. Zombie, you suck. The end is coming. Well, now I think what we're going to do is kill this guy as quickly as possible. So, give me a mark. Aha! Then you... Just gonna crescendo. Might as well. You got nothing else to do.
Extinction
You crit for
of life.
60, and by the way, the extinction of life. You missed! Oh, you dick! Do you want to die? Because if you want to die, then by all means, miss. Your accuracy is 97, and you fucking missed. Excuse me? Well, I know what ability we need to upgrade when we get back to base. Just stop. Could you stop? Go shoot her. Thank you.
Mop up the gore. I'd hate to see plants using it as fertilizer.
He sounds so angry about everything. Jornker, hey, how's it going? Welcome. All surviving minions gain 50% experience. The zombie receives +4 accuracy, +15% damage, stacks up to 5 times. Removed if the zombie changes positions. At the start of each turn, the zombie receives bonuses. So we should probably put that on the zombie. Sweet. Now, raise the level of minions or Iratus. Iratus, if we gain 1 more level, will give us 1 more point. You can put that point into +5 evasion, +2 initiative, which is meh. Summoning shadows, nah. What about... probably saving it for this. Just a nice passive. Eventually we can also get full healing. Passive healing if you have Wrath. All minions receive less damage for 3 rounds. That seems pretty good. Seems like Ire is like survivability. All minions deal more damage, or like minion effects. That's pretty good. All minions and enemies gain luck. Well, it's a buff, it would make the skeleton stronger. Deals stress damage to all enemies. Deals stress damage. Target loses 50% of its health. Loses all block and wards, ignores ward. So I guess ward would protect against spells. We just got lucky that we had used the ability from the vampire, but that was the whole point of bringing the vampire along, because that guy is very annoying because he adds buffs to himself. Removes all debuffs from minions and buffs from enemies. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Map. Squad. Go here. Iratus. Gain experience. Then, we got 3 points. I'm just gonna give myself, I think, +5 evasion for all allies. You know what? No, let's get this. We should have gotten this stuff a long time ago. Let's get better parts to get better minions. There we go. Do I know what I'm doing? Not necessarily, but we'll just muddle along. Now, boss. Probably going to need a lot of physical damage and physical block. Twigbreaker, you're a good unit. We want the vampire. We want the Skelalord, who just got healed. Please, thank you. Then, we could also bring along the Black Knight in order to have more block. Wait, question. Target gains armor and resistance. Does that mean that this guy will get more damage? Yo, we have to try. So we're gonna have Mud, Falcon, Comedian, Twigbreaker in the back. I don't know, seems like it could be a pretty decent party. We can buff everyone up and then just block and hit as hard as possible and heal with the vampire. Dude, maybe this is a synergy. Skeleton plus Black Knight. You buff his block, make him do more damage. If that's possible, that's great. Let's give it a shot. And then you're just gonna buff yourself. I like it. Let's give it a shot. As with all things, let's just give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? I think I am going to upgrade something. I think I'm going to upgrade this with a zombie. Let's get a zombie. Craft.
Time to bring out the big guns.
The big guns. Oh, sorry, graveyard. Go here, go here, go here. Make sure we get the right zombie in there. All right, let's do this. Everyone good? No. Yes. Everyone's good. Let's do it. So we're going to spend like a turn buffing. The vampire is going to go forward and then do their heal basically immediately. The skeleton is going to be buffing the defense of the Black Knight, increasing the damage the Black Knight deals, and the Black Knight also gets hit more often. Very easy ability right there to figure out. And hopefully they're just going to tank all the damage, and then after like a turn or two, we're just going to start attacking and killing things as quickly as possible. Let's do it. The keys in his possession granted this man great purpose. For a bribe and a favor, he was willing to carry missives, arrange fights, and allow gangs of criminals to quietly murder their competition while they slept. He saw himself as a king, and the keys were his crown. As long as they were needed, he was needed. But the undead cared not for the jingling metal, and for the man himself, they will have no need at all. He's the warden. Redirect to ally, 33% chance. Disappears at the end of battle, disappears at the end of battle, disappears at the end of battle. We need the vampire shot to hit. What we are going to do is start by buffing, so you deal a ton of damage, and the little damage that we're taking is basically meaningless. What are you gonna do? Probably not much. Target minion loses luck and gains attack and dread. His crit chance is 0. Negative luck on the target increases the luck of the attacker. However, this guy cannot be critically hit either, so we should probably stack the negative luck on him because it literally doesn't do anything. So we're going to do that immediately. It's just going to improve his damage, and he's not going to take any more damage due to having negative luck. And we removed one of his block. Lovely. What is he going to do? I think he is going to do basically nothing for a turn. We could have him attack. What I'm going to do is stall because we want to buff him with the skeleton first, and then we'll start attacking with him. He lost his accuracy, oh well. Now, this really needs to hit the guy in the back. It got redirected. I mean, we'll do it again. We'll keep doing it until it lands, basically. And the skeleton does a buff here, which increases the damage of this guy. And he buffs. So we could have had, and we should have had this guy go into a Futile Hopes stance, but it only deals stress damage, and I want to kill these guys, not really give them... Not really just give him a little bit of stress. And also the buff, I mean, it means we can hit him harder with the skeleton, but the skeleton's going to be doing some buffing of his own for a little bit anyways. All right. You. Lay the smack down. You missed, but you had that debuff of lower accuracy, so honestly it makes sense. No problem. You have a lot of damage now all of a sudden. Oh, look at that. You were buffed. You know what? Buff again. Now, let's make sure we spend the Wrath as soon as we can here. You need to move back one so you can try to hit the guy in the back again. So I'm going to have you do that and move back one. We need to start killing someone though. Can you attack third position? Yes, you can. So, smack this guy, please. I don't like the skeleton being that far forward, but yeah. Because the skeleton can't buff his own block permanently. The skeleton can buff the block of others, but he's immune to blocks. Or he's immune to buffs, so he can't buff himself, but he's gonna buff this guy. Just improve his damage and defense with every single action. You fucking missed! Deal 30 to 39 damage next turn. Debuff, -8 armor for 2 turns. You're still taking, like, next to no damage. Oh, it did it again! So we hit that 33% chance twice. You have 1 buff and 45 health. 3 attacks might not kill you. I'm just gonna wait 1 turn, see if I can ice you with the bride. Thank you. Just want to make sure he's dead because he was doing a nasty attack. Then you're gonna wait. You're gonna buff 1 more time. So that's the maximum block buff this guy has, but he has 16 armor. And he hits like a flippin' truck now. You gotta love it. You hit for 0. I mean, he's basically an animated armor. That's what he is. You would expect him to be awful tanky, and that's with weakness. You're never gonna hit him. But you need to back up. I guess we could just hit this guy 1 more time to knock out his buff. I would like to hit the ability on him, but you know what? Let's do it. Let's slow play this slightly, because I think we can. Bride, buff. They stack. You now have 3 stacks of it. It doesn't matter, because the Black Knight is 2-shotting everything. Now, target receives armor and resistance until the battle ends. Buff. Or attack. You know what? Give me an attack. Let's try to chop these guys up a little bit. I might as well leave them alive, honestly. They can't do anything. If I put block up on the skeleton, he can't do anything. Lower freaking accuracy, you dicks. 70 damage, that's a kill. Your skin will look so fine sewn upon me, yes. Yes! You can heal slightly. You can hit for like 40 damage. We might as well heal because that'll get us back up to full. You can do 1 more backup. I guess if I kill all the minions, then he has nothing to redirect to ally. But he's gonna probably summon on the next turn. This will do like 3 hits. You know what? Just start buffing people. This is the entire reason why I brought you along, Mr. Skellington. And he is gonna be staying at the front forever. That is his job. We have attacks. Okay, so you know what? We're gonna kill you.
Death.
And now it's guaranteed to land. Oh, hallelujah. So now I don't know if he will gain block or ward in the future, but now he can. And you know what? Because it's a boss fight, let's debuff him now. Because it's going to land. And then we can smack the crap out of him. Oh, you're gonna regret ever facing off against the Lord of the Dead. You brought him back to life. That's annoying. But we're still kicking the crap out of you. Crit. It's a good shot, I just wish it would have landed. But we're chopping these guys up very quickly now.
Just as it died.
Any crit basically will just freaking murder. You brought them all back. But they lost their buffs. Or he brought them back without buffs. Or something. Doesn't stack, doesn't spend an action. Well, you can't hit him, so I don't know, might as well crit him. Oh, sometimes you just get lucky. So I want the bride to actually have an attack and do a crit across all 3 units. Because then we'll be able to hit him. In fact, we can probably hit the guy in the back. He's got like 40. He's got 44 HP. Yeah, I mean, I think we certainly have him right now.
Give them no mercy.
He has 16 health, and this should do it. Hit him for 44.
Soon this world will be
Okay, bye.
mine.
There's 2 minions left. And bye. See you later. Mummy only. At the start of its turn, the mummy restores 4 health for each curse on enemies. Definitely cements the mummy, I think, as a stress curse unit. If you can put a lot of curse on a lot of units, that's a lot of health regen on the mummy, and then the mummy is just going to take damage and reduce the luck of enemies. I didn't put a freaking consumable on my Iratus, dude. Why do I always fail to do that? We got some drums. We have finished off the level, and we can go to the exit whenever we want. I don't know what happens when we go to the exit, so really quickly, let's just make sure that people are satisfied and set. That's not what I meant to click on. Choose a battle squad and go to the exit. Full heal. The hunger for wealth has long since become the only virtue among the hardy dwarven folk. Gone are their ancient traditions, along with the names of their ancestors. For what was more powerful? Logic? Or some dead dwarf rotting away into dust? Their ruthless scientists and alchemists knew the answer to that question, and the human kingdom was more than willing to facilitate their experiments. They have grown rich and feared, setting up their own enclave, and became the default overseers of the mine. And now we're here. Yes. Okay. What do we got? We got quests. We got things to do. I like the idea of doing quests, because if they give you permanent buffs, that would be awesome. Although quests, maybe they could give you permanent penalties. You know, we have a +2 attack until end of game, but maybe current global buffs can also be a debuff. You never know. Abe, are you a voice actor? Yeah. Of course. Absolutely. So what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Restore health or mana. I actually dislike that. Maybe we will skip and go the left path. There's 1, 2 quests. We can get 3 quests if we go the right path, which might be better. But we have to kind of lose this Fountain of Restoration. Another thing that would be nice is just being able to like see counts for encounters. Because if I want to get the most value out of a path, I've got to be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 this way, 4 this way, 6 this way. If we go this way, 12 this way. But I'm thinking if we just go the right path and hit all of these quests, we'll be okay. But in order to get the most encounters, we kind of have to do a zigzag. So if we go here, right, we can hit the quest, zigzag back to the middle, then go up, then like zigzag around, like up here, then zigzag back up here and hit the quest. Yo, it's a big daddy. So that seems okay. By the way, what are we fighting here? Just dudes. If we're fighting just dudes, I would like just units that are like completely capable of getting the job done, and we'll have like a horrible mix mash between them just to make people annoyed that that I'm not synergizing between them. Well, let's maybe mix and match it a little bit better. So actually, that's pretty good. There you go. We'll do this. It's acceptable. All right, let's do it. First encounter of the new zone. Let's see. Berserker. Dwarven warrior with 1 block. Doesn't escape. Deals stress damage to itself at the start of each turn. For every 10 points of sanity missing, gains 1 attack. So eventually his attack will be increased by 20 if he goes insane. Man, like, I don't know, I just want to kill him quickly and not even worry about the stress, because lowering their stress is a buff. Every turn they get 3 more attack until they go insane and have a heart attack. Weird. We're going to start with a bit of a wait, though. We're going to start with a stall. And we're going to start by just hitting enemies. Good to get rid of the block. You dick! What the hell? Excuse me, Jesus. They have a 40 crit chance? They have a 40 crit chance. They attack twice. They hit my unit who has 40% evasion 5 times. And they go into frenzy for every hit that gains them luck, armor, and resistance. What? We should have brought the skeleton. He could have multiple attacks on these guys very easily, although they're permanently buffing their armor and resistance, which means eventually they're going to go insane and have a heart attack and die because I'm not going to be able to hurt them because of their block. I hate him already. Let's just call it like I see it. I freaking hate him already, and we have taken so much damage on our unit. We're just going to use our ult, I think, and just immediately reduce their, or just get rid of their next turn. And try to kill them as quickly as we can. Because these guys are horrifying. They are awful. And you just deal damage, so please just deal damage. I could increase the evasion. Here's hoping I can just kill him. Okay, they lost turns. We are going to attack 2 random enemies. Luckily, it's the guy up front, and one of them is dead.
What 1,000 years of evolution
I want
like.
them to attack the Wraith, and I want the Wraith to frickin' dodge. They have 40 evasion, and their accuracy is only 107, so they have a 33, or she has a 33% chance of evading an attack. It's got to happen one of these days. And I could try to stress them out, but that's just only going to make them stronger. So I think what we're going to do is just reduce their attack as much as possible, even though by reducing his attack I make him stronger. But I want them to do a lot of crappy attacks so that they can so that the Wraith can get a dodge, Banshee can get a dodge and heal, because that's their whole point of the second slipper. But it's not happening. So I think we're just going to keep doing these double hits.
Hope there will still be enough left.
Or if they hit my tank, that would be lovely as well. There you go. You crit twice. Well, he does have a 44% crit chance and 6 armor right now. These guys are dumb. I hate him already. Good lord. Ignore block. You do a lot of damage, which I appreciate. And in fact, she can outscale their armor because every buff increases her damage more than their buff of armor is blocking the damage. So she is outscaling these guys. So she seems like a very good unit to use against these guys because even if they get stronger, she can still hit them. Now we could have gone stress on these guys, but dude, if they don't have a heart attack, they're going to hit like a goddamn truck. Is there a reason I don't use my spells? Honestly, I just keep forgetting about it, you know. I played Darkest Dungeon for, 100 hours. I don't remember I have spells, and I don't know how to use them appropriately, so I kind of just ignore them most of the time. And the thing is, I'm on a difficulty level where I can do that. I can make mistakes, I can ignore, like, a whole mechanic of the game, and still probably be fine. I should use them more often, absolutely. I'm just not doing it because I'm silly. Is what it boils down to. Like, I can make him take more damage. If I could, like, burn his armor with a spell, that'd be great, but we'll do this, and do another 15 damage, and maybe just ice him? Well, nearly iced him. We'll ice him now.
Soon this world will be mine.
So, the Banshee is alive. It would be nice if she got one dodge and could heal all of the HP that she took, because that's what she's kind of built for. So I tell you what, oh, sorry, I need 8 skill points to increase your evasion by 4. All right, well, I guess you're just gonna get hit more often, Milk Jug. Sorry about that. What's next? I should have used a lot of spells because we have this coming up. If we're gonna go right and try to do a quest. If we go left, if we can only get 2 quests, we could aim for this quest here. Which means we can go left path. If we go left path, we can hit this quest. And then this quest. Let's do that instead. It's a little bit later, but it also means that we can just go to some cultists. Hey cultists, how you doing? After combat victory, restored to full health. Dark Knight only. 5 mana and wrath restored each time the Dark Knight receives damage. Question. Does this work if you take 0 damage? Because if the Dark Knight is putting up a lot of block or something and taking no damage, will this still give mana and wrath? I don't know. Whenever an enemy escapes or becomes insane, the vampire receives another buff. I understand this now, because the vampire has a buff where every time this happens, they get buffed. I think I'm going to take the Dark Knight only Heart of Emptiness and then check out the Dark Knight real quick. Yeah. So that seems like a pretty good thing to have on. Enemies are going to attack him more often, and now every time he takes damage, he will regain more mana and wrath. Now, the question is, again, if this happens on 0. We'll see, but I still think this is what we want, because this guy's, he's a tanky dude. He's a tanky dude. At some point I need to also do, this stuff, like build a better zombie, but again, we'll worry about that later, I think. Let's do another one, another mission here. We've got another combat coming up. 2 new dudes who I've never seen before. GT Quark in chat is asking if they know me IRL. No one knows me IRL in Twitch chat. I can tell you that right now. The only person who knows me is my friend Chris, because we live together. We're married. I don't know who to take for this next mission, but I think what we'll do is if we take you, you can remove armor and resistance from enemies and do a lot of damage. We'll take you. You also heal. We will take a skeleton who can hit multiple times if they do a buff. We'll take you. We will take a ghoul who will also hit multiple times if they do a buff. And then we'll take a bride just because they do a lot of damage. Okay. Acceptable. Lost Soul still kind of hanging out in the back. think this is also okay. I haven't used these guys in a while, but they're very situational. All these guys on the left, like, I think this is pretty much the order of, well, not the Lost Soul, but I think, you know, the physical damage dealers are a lot more useful than the enemies that are, the units that are like, okay, if you combo off of debuffs, buffs, and stress, you can do a lot of stuff. But I think maybe a ghoul, a Lost Soul, a skeleton, and a head will be effective here. Let's give it a shot in the arena. But you do good work. You do very good work. Wait. I am a fool? We need to upgrade this once. Let's get another headless man. We'll get an upgrade to the building and put more freaking people in it.
Mountain of human heads when I'm done.
Yeah, you do that. There we go. And we will put you in there. You're useful. I want to keep using the useful units because it's like, oh, they get stuff done. So let's see how this works. Let's do this. Want to add more people into your buildings? Just did. Now what do? Alchemist, treasurer. You have block and ward. We'll knock it down eventually. And you, as a berserker, you deal damage. Right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna trap on position 1 immediately, because we know that we want that to go off. Debuff, immune, and ward. You threw coins at me. Lower luck and lower accuracy for 2 turns. That's silly. Okay, well, let's increase everyone's initiative. Have a buff! You debuff me, I buff you. I'm just making it fair. Okay, so he hit twice, so he got 1 stack of Frenzy? I thought Frenzy would stack twice. It only stacked once, but I guess it doesn't matter too much, huh? Because we're just gonna kick the crap out of you. I hope. Buff! I think I took the right party for this. Increases damage dealt by 50%? You moved into the... You dick. Wait, does this ignore block? I don't think it ignores block. It says it doesn't miss, but that doesn't mean it ignores block, so he's probably going to get blocked by it. I could use an ability and move him around. It does physical damage, but does that mean it's still going to move him? Let's figure it out. Nope. But he's going to get hit by the trap at least, which is better than nothing. In that case, I should just use a different skill, but I wanted to figure that out. So, Skellington, do many swings, please. Against you, because you have 2 armor. That's pretty good. That's all you got. Now we have another turn. He's gonna move if we don't kill him. We're unlikely to kill him. I could use a spell on him. I don't think we need to, though. I think we'll be fine. Well, that was unfortunate. And you did 40 damage. God damn, these guys have never missed a shot yet. And you did 44 damage? Yo, the second act here is not messing around. These enemies hit hard. They hit really hard. Removes all armor. Seething Wrath removes armor. Seething Wrath? That's your ability, right? Sundering Wrath, Seething Wrath. He has double stacks of the debuff for some reason, which is good for my it's good for my my ghoul friend. Skeleton's gonna have a hard time multi-hitting through your buffs, but the skeleton's gonna be able to hit this guy many times. We gotta kill him. We gotta kill him.
Toss them in with the rest.
That was a lucky hit. Name the ghoul Nom Nom Nom. Nom 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 nom. The ghoul has... You know what? That's a good point. Well, we can't do it now. We have to do it outside of combat, but I like it. I like it. Lower accuracy because they're looking for coins on the ground. They're undead. They have... If they can float over traps, they can also ignore the wealth of coin. Otherwise, we got a problem. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm going to... one of these. We're gonna keep buffing them so that we can keep hitting them harder. Now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 buff stacks. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buff stacks. You know what? Hold on. I have an ability that increases the offense of a unit, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do that immediately on... It's a buff, it doesn't work. I remembered before I did it. It's a buff, it's not gonna work. I guess I could just hit this guy with a spell. I really don't want to though. I want to try to kill him without using spells. Because what I really want to do is multi-attack him. I can hit him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can hit him 8 times for 5 damage. I can do like 40 damage to him. But then he's gonna still live. You know? Put up a block. We gotta kill this guy on this turn anyways. He just crit twice. He just crit twice for 25 damage each. I hate these guys. They are absurd. Apparently I just can't do anything to them, so, you know, love that. Okay, get that block down. You eat the crap out of someone. It's gonna deal for each buff or debuff 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's probably good enough.
One less annoyance in the world.
You know, no, we should have had him.
My hordes are without number.
What do you do? What do you do? They have not missed an attack since I have been here. What do you do? They just freaking iced him. They just do so much damage. And he has a permanent buff that is giving him 50% bonus damage too, and he crit his shot, I think, too. And they have like a 60% crit chance. Dude, the enemy crit is insane here. Every hit basically has been a crit. That's pretty frustrating. Now, I'm not playing perfectly, absolutely, but this is not like a hard difficulty. And this is the beginning of the floor, too. This is going to be silly. Removes all buffs and debuffs from enemies. Okay. So now we have +8 attack. It doesn't work on the skeleton, but now maybe they're not going to just completely crap on me. That would be lovely. It's going to be harder to kill them because they're not under the effect of buffs, but they're also not under the effect of buffs.
You will be worth something in death.
You dick. Okay. So let's get you some initiative. Let's rebuild the good buffs, which are AKA the bad buffs. The buffs I want you to have, as opposed to the buffs that you have. And just try to ice you as soon as we can. You crit. Is that like is that a magic attack or something? Because she has block, it's just not blocking. Also, it was a crit, by the way. Just want to point that out. We have another crit. Wait. I really don't want to make him do more damage. That seems like a very bad idea for a buff. So I'm just going to keep giving them initiative. And keep smacking. Eventually, he will die. He has to die. I should probably use like a spell or a wrath attack. Yeah, he didn't crit. I'm making the game angry, calling it easy. Maybe that's the secret. Alright, let's just ice this fool. We will learn. Now that we understand what these minions do, we will learn and try things differently. But we do need a new disposable head, which is unfortunate, but we have the parts to make a new one. At the start of combat, deal stress damage to all enemies. Ignores ward. Interesting. Okay, so we need to build a new headman. We lost. We'll build the headman with the best components we can, which is going to be here, giving us an extra 4 stat points. Craft.
Despite a lack of eyes, they know to aim for the neck.
Aim for the neck and head. We will gonna give him. Hello? Brain. Give him a level 9 brain, why not? We had a headman with 20 stat points. Lovely. I can't put any more in there. I can't make it even more disposable than the last. But, there you go. Disposable head 2.0. We'll keep with the naming convention we have. Right. So we'll have to figure out that. What we need to do is, honestly, upgrade the mortuary. So let's get a Wraith. Good. Craft.
Why do I get this sinking feeling in my putrefied gut?
I don't know why. You tell me. We can't even build. Well, we'll build it later in that case. But let's see what we're going to do in the next encounter. What is the next encounter? If we're going left, which we might do. No, I'm going to go right. Right is one more combat, but it's also more things. And I think that more things is possibly better. So if we go more things, let's go to the right path so we can get an ancient coffin. Select 1. Reduce damage received. Set enemies on fire for 2 turns when a minion uses an ability. Hi! I clicked on it accidentally. I clicked right click for some reason. I got scared. Sets enemies on fire for turns when a minion uses an ability. 4 damage with AoE or 10 damage with single target. This seems good because it seems like another way of busting down ward. Assuming that this is going to be like a magical attack. So maybe putting this on a Lost Soul means that you can bust down ward and actually apply buffs and debuffs and shenanigans. Maybe not. Maybe so. By the way, you're coming out, and Ghoul friend is going in. I love the Ghoul. Ghoul's been awesome lately. But what do we got coming up next? Only 3 units. 2 Berserkers and an armed guy again. Okay, how do we deal with Berserkers? And also, are they in this? Yes, they are. First ability, second ability, third ability. So we can actually see their abilities now because we saw them and killed them. I don't know why you are there. I don't know why there's a big gap in between things. I guess they moved you to the third area of the game because you got a lot of health in the third area of the game. Feature. Alchemist. Geomancer. I don't even remember fighting you. Physical attack deals 60 damage twice, buffs self until the end of battle, receives luck and armor and resistance. God, I hate that. 38% crit chance. Good Christ, that's high. Buffs self, receive 2 attack, and loses armor and resistance. They don't seem to use this ability that much, though. Physical attack, deal 100% damage to 3 random targets. Holy balls. Good Christ. I think I know what we have to do against these guys, and that is use the Wraith, sorry, the Banshee, and lower their strength, because their attacks are mostly multi-hit. So we really have to negate their multi-hitting abilities as long as possible. So I think that we need a Banshee in order to debuff him as much as possible. Alchemist, deal 50% magic damage to a target minion and the one behind it. It moves them around, and the target loses all armor and resistance. Excuse me? So you're gonna get freaking crit by the Berserker and freaking die. Okay. Buff, targets deal 50% more damage. Buff, receive 1 block and 1 ward. And Geomancer. Buffs all allies for 2 turns with armor and resistance. Magic attack. Minions move. It hits everyone. Deals 35% damage 3 times. It really does feel like these guys, you need to reduce their strength or crit. Because they do a ton of damage multiple times. Hits 2 enemies, hits two enemies, and buffs. Hits lots of enemies. I feel like maybe we actually still want the Lost Soul out here. Because of the ability to remove buffs. And then if we're doing that, what we probably want is just raw damage and block. We buff the crap out of our... Well, not buff the crap, but we heal with lifesteal. We hopefully take, as little damage as possible. We reduce their strength. And we remove their buffs and debuffs halfway through the fight. I feel like the Lost Soul is actually pretty good here. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. We can't really put much on anyone. I can put a few things on the Lost Soul. Maybe a little bit more block and ward to help keep them alive a little bit longer, especially because they're going into this fight at half health. Let's do that. You have 4 points. Let's put that into, honestly, a little bit of health. And you, 6 points. Honestly, a little bit of armor seems decent, but a little bit of health would also be nice, but you can heal. Let's get a little bit of armor because these guys hit hard. I want to block as much as possible in my front line. Milk Jug, you still have 40% evasion. Please actually evade an attack. It's going to be awful important that you do. The target gains 2 wards, but deals less damage for 2 actions. Gains 1 block and 1 ward, but deals less damage for their next 2 actions. I mean, lucrative boon might be okay here, because we can buff a unit with block. Unfortunately, since the enemies hit multiple times, that's not that effective. Or not as effective, I should say. Stress damage does not seem to be the way to go. I really do not want to make them deal more damage. The heal is risky at any point in time, and having them gain accuracy just doesn't seem good. Like, really, I'm just using Lost Soul to remove buffs. Do we have anyone else that removes buffs? I don't think we have anyone else that removes buffs, but I think it's super important to have the Lost Soul, so we'll give it a shot here. I don't know, this is weird. This is very weird. Let's put you here. You know what? No, put you here. Keep you there. You need to get healed, lady. I'm not gonna let my ghoul die. Ghoul's great. Right, so let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's see if changing our style, our approach, is functional. Okay. So we gain a lot of wrath and mana. We should definitely be using abilities here. He hit immediately for very low damage. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. We took some hits ourselves. what are we going to do? We need to kill quickly, so let us hit this guy with an attack. That means we do more damage to him. And it got rid of the block on that unit. Perfect. We actually have enough wrath that we can gain lifesteal immediately. I feel like that could be good, but I feel like maybe just having them skip a turn would actually be better. So I'm just gonna go for hits. You hit for 5. Yeah, we need... Armor is king here, because all these enemies, not all these enemies, but a lot of these enemies do multiple hits, and then they buff themselves to do more hits. So having that ability to take a lot of minor hits is seemingly going to be super important. And we're going to start that up here. You have the make them skip their turn, but I'm using your debuff anyways. I thought you had the thing that makes them skip their turn. That's silly. And you can't even remove their debuffs when you're in the back line, but I can always move you in the future. But good to know that that's what's going on here, because I messed it up. Don't matter. What we're gonna do is just buff them, because it's the only thing you really can do. It's your turn. I could heal. And we know we're gonna take damage, so this is an okay time for it. It's very unlikely that I'm gonna get a kill on an attack. And you know what, we're gonna gain Wrath back anyway, so let's just get the healing now. It deals damage, we heal to full. Now please hit my knight as much as you can. Perfect. We took 8 damage, who cares? We took 7 damage, who cares? We have 90 Wrath again, perfect. Gain damage until the battle ends and they lose their buffs and debuffs. 100% damage. If we gain like 10 damage, is that worth losing their buffs and debuffs? Maybe next turn? That would be a little bit more lucrative, because I really want to get a kill on this turn, and I want to make sure that this guy... Oh hey, he's a berserker who's berserk! That's not scary at all. I just want to kill this guy because he has the Reign of Gore debuff, and I want to make sure that they freaking die!
Your frail bodies fail you.
You're insane. You know what? I'm willing to bet they only go berserk, because they're berserkers. I hate it, but it's probably what's going on there. That's incredibly scary, but he is dead, thankfully. Murderer! I love the dialogue lines from the Banshee as well. Okay. Who has to go first? The Dwarven Warrior, who does 6 to 8 damage, or the Berserker, who does 25 to 34? You know?
Gravely salute.
Okay, I'll take it. Is there like an achievement for one-shotting an enemy with a skill? Because that's exactly what just happened here. So we're gonna be okay. You're gonna retreat? Excuse me? Received damage increased by 50%. I actually did not realize that happened when he retreated. We could let him retreat and just get a vampire out of this. I don't think we need a vampire though, because we have units, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Hunger.
And then you are going to just toss out a heal. Do we have anything that gains mana? No. So you are just going to throw a dagger at him so you don't crit him to death.
Hey, I need
You almost...
too.
Hey, I need them to leave, Iratus, my friend. Gain some mana back. And you gain more mana back. 11. It's decent. It's enough for me to be happy with. We get a vampire out of this. That's acceptable.
Mortal kind.
Okay, and I've learned what we need, I think, to deal with those guys. After a victory, Iratus receives 40 mana for each enemy that fled. Oh. Boo. Boo. But I think I know what we need now. We need the damage reduction, and we need a tank in the front. Someone who has armor, not just health, like the disposable head, because he has very low armor. Actually, he had less armor, right? No, he had the same amount of... Yeah, he had the same amount of armor. But we need someone who's tanky. He had 11 armor versus 8 on this guy? 6 on this guy. Yeah, that's a big difference. So we need to do that. Healing is also very helpful, especially on the front line, because the back line didn't... No, actually... Was the Banshee in the second or the third position when they got wrecked on the first encounter? Or, sorry, no, there was Disposable Head on the second or the third when they got wrecked. I think they were on the second position. If the Berserkers only hit the first 2 positions, you know what, we can check. Don't leave it to chance. Yeah, they can only hit the front 2 positions with that big attack. Then the tankier units should be at the front. Although they can hit the third position with this, and they can hit their second and third ability on any position, which is horrifying to think about with a 38% chance to crit. I mean, they can do nearly 100 damage in a turn on turn 1. That's insane. But yeah, I think having frontline blockers helps. Maybe even a skeleton, even though they don't have very much block unless they're actually actively blocking, which is kind of annoying. This one here. We can make him stress out the enemies that hit him. I don't know if that's going to work against Berserkers, but who knows. Another thing that we can do is get multiples of a minion, like 2 skeletons, and use 1 skeleton for this area who's built for it. You can't change your skills once you apply them, but we can always just rebuild the skeleton and, you know, make him better and stronger, etc., etc. The Shade can do big physical using stress damage. You know, that's actually a good point. The Shade might also be a good unit to use here because the Berserkers hurt themselves, and the Shade can kind of reflect the damage back. Deal damage equal to 100% of the sanity that the target is missing. Doesn't miss, ignores ward. It's a magic attack. And the Berserkers have a lot of sanity and low vigor. So, you know, that might actually be a good combo here. Use the Shade to kill him quickly. The enemies are still going to be buffed while you bring down their sanity. But every 2 turns, basically, a Shade can get a kill. Maybe. That's a good point, Frozen Melon. Yeah. Especially because, yeah, I mean, especially because they lose, what is it, 30 sanity a turn? Yeah. So that's 30 damage a turn immediately. And then you can debuff them and reduce their sanity in order to increase the damage you're dealing. So yeah, maybe like this is the play. Well, let's get the Wraith out, who is here. Maybe the play is a frontline tank, a Wraith who has some blocks up, a Banshee, who actually I think I'd prefer to have them in the front just because they have good dodge and they can heal. And then the Wraith in the back, who... Is it Wraith? Where was the damn ability? No, Shade. Shade. Sorry. Shade. There it is. But the Shade in the back, and then they reduce the sanity of the target. Although it moves them back, or moves them forward, but oh well. Yeah. Is the Brain the level? Brain is your level, and you can also At any point in time, give them better brains. I got a level 9 brain. If I wanted to, I could make a level 9 shade. It's really nice because then if you do lose a unit, you can rebuild them and give them a equivalent level to what they were when they died, or a higher level. Like the shade, I could just give him 5 levels if I wanted to. You can absolutely do that. It's very helpful. Very, very handy.